Superman. Yes, Superman has come out, and I'm going to tell you about it. So today, as you can see, I am in the closet. Wait, how much did I like Superman? About that much. So what I'm going to do, I got a couple of topics in here I want to talk about. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to see what's inside and where we're going to talk about it. Also, this thing's really cool, $50. My local theater did not have the really cool news stand one. But, you know, I guess it sucks to suck. All right, first, what are we going to talk about? Hope. Is this Superman hopeful? Yes. Does he aura farm when Congress gets bombed? No. I definitely think Superman in this movie is what Superman is supposed to be. I'm actually a person who didn't despise Batman v Superman. I remember being so excited for that. But let's be honest. I think Superman is closer to Invincible in Man of Steel than he is to what Superman is in this. It feels like a different, guy. This is the most uncomfortable. Who would have thought it'd be hard doing shit in a closet? This entire movie, Superman gets absolutely shit on the whole time. It is ridiculous how much is stacked against this guy. The part that gets me, and obviously spoilers, so he's being weakened by kryptonite by, I think his name's Metamorpho, or the Element Man or whatever. And the guy, a guy from earlier in the movie who gave him free food, Luthor just kidnaps him. And then he starts playing Russian roulette with him. And then on the second, go around, he gets fucking shot. And Superman starts crying, and the Metamorpho starts crying. But I'm going to be honest. If that was me, you win. You got the nice falafel guy. What am I going to do, dude? I'm done. This is definitely the most hopeful movie I've seen this year. I feel like recently there's been a lot of movies that have just been a bit of a downer, or horror movies, which I don't feel very hopeful watching those. James, however, another member of this channel, did not think it was hopeful enough. He's a bit of a picky bitch. Oh. Plot. The plot of this movie is ridiculous. Before the movie even starts, he stopped a war between two countries, pretty much pissed off the country that was stronger than the other, the stronger country. And it spirals from there. This movie gives a pitch perfect Lex Luthor just because of how many levels of redundancy there is in fighting Superman. So he talks to a guy, the guy puts in commands, the command goes through the mech suit is listened to the clone, and then the clone has to do what he did. And he kicks Superman's ass like that. That's just how smart this Lex Luthor is. And he is a bona fide genius at that level, and I think that is hilarious. And if people will ask, doesn't make much sense, why doesn't he just streamline it? He doesn't have to. He's Lex Luthor. He's very smart. I will admit, this is the first big thing. It's not Creature Commandos. This is the beginning, let's be honest, of the DCU. It is a lot. There's a lot in this film that you going in knowing absolutely nothing, just kind of have to accept. First of all, I don't think Green Lantern is in the public consciousness enough to have literal zero explanation of what it is. I think they should have explained something. They didn't. I understood it perfectly because I'm so smart. I'm in a closet. Look at this. Ooh. But I do think that maybe I could see people coming up with the complaint of it's more it was so messy, the plot was very messy, and all these characters, I didn't really understand them until the very end. I do not have that complaint. I think this was a pitch perfect way to portray a world that has been lived in before. But the plot is pretty much Superman fights Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor is the most fucking convoluted guy you will ever fight. And Superman's just a dude, and he's like, oh my god, Luthor, you want a country? And he goes no, I don't want the country. I got the country just to lure you out. And he goes you just had to ask, man. Why are you doing all this? And the government gets involved a little bit, I guess. Ooh, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? The DCU. Not to be confused with the DCEU, which was Zack Snyder's thing. This is the DCU, like the MCU. Is this a good start? I think this is a fantastic start. I don't see many movies that could have been better. What do I think is the logical next step? Well, I know what the next step is. It's Peacemaker Season 2, which I bet's going to be really good. I think for a long time, that will be the only multiversal thing. And I do have a strong suspicion that Peacemaker won't exactly be hugely plot relevant to the DCU. It's going to be just a fun story with, like, one big cameo. That's what I kind of got the vibe of what they were saying. This world is 100% more comic booky than the MCU. It has a lot of that vibe of, like, things are just going to kind of show up and it's just part of the world and you're going to have to accept it. Now, if that's good, if that's bad, if you like that, if you don't, that's really up to you. I like that a lot because it's just like, oh, like anything can kind of happen. If you have any knowledge of any comic, you can kind of be like, I don't know when this will happen. I don't know how it will happen, but this could be involved. Because like if we take the MCU, I could give less of a shit about the quantum realm. I don't care. I really don't care. I feel like it's gonna be important. I don't care. But with this pocket universe, I care a little more about this pocket universe because of how it affects the outside world and how it like went with the plot. The only thing the quantum realm has really done that was plot relevant in my head is it made Scott travel in time. It like lets you travel in time. And they haven't done that again yet. It's been 5 years since Endgame. Isn't that fucking weird? I hate that. How the characters are portrayed, perfect. I'm excited to see Wonder Woman in this world. I want to see how she works and how she will react because Superman is full of hope. Wonder Woman just kills. She is a badass warrior. Like, she is a soldier. She is not going to go and save the squirrel. And I want to see how they interact. I think that will be really great. And let's be honest, Gal Gadot wasn't a great Wonder Woman. She had a great Wonder Woman movie. It wasn't a great Wonder Woman, you know. Kal-El, no, you know. We'll see. We'll see who gets cast. I'm excited. Oh, Ultraman. Okay, so this might be a weird one to have a topic for. I had some feelings on Ultraman. I did not like that it was a clone of Superman because they did not mention cloning, I think, once before that happened. I think that is my only big complaint about the movie. There's some interesting ways we can go with this. Now, if cloning... Because it is an integral part of this movie now, that, like, he's a clone. That was the only thing that I was like, we're doing too much. He's probably going to become Bizarro. That will probably be Bizarro. I don't think there's going to be Bizarro World and we'll get, like, Bizarro Robin, Bizarro Batman and stuff. Who, I think Bizarro Batman in the comics just guns down people in alleys. I'm pretty sure that's just what that is. And that will be interesting. I think there's interesting ways to go about it, but specifically with Ultraman, I'm going to be honest, that was my one thing of this movie that was like, okay, he's a clone. Okay, you didn't even mention cloning before. Like, I'm not upset he's a clone. I'm not even upset this happened. I'm just like, I didn't like that, like, and now, and he's a clone of you, Superman. And they definitely hinted it through the movie. Like, I don't think it was like an ass pull at the end of something, but it's just kind of like, there was probably a more creative solution. And if that's my only problem with this movie, which it really is, it's still a fantastic film. It's still really good. Also, something I didn't talk about, plot. Hold on, put the plot thing back up. Krypton's evil. Krypton is Viltrum. And I really like that. There are people who don't like it. I like it because it shows Superman is just a good person at his core. He's just a good guy, and the Kents made him an even better guy by giving him those good old values of just helping people. I just needed to say that. I was thinking about that. I just needed to say that. Ooh, okay, I'm excited about talking this one. Batman. When I say Batman, does Batman show up in this movie? No. Is Batman even mentioned in this movie? No. You see a street sign for Gotham, but no, he doesn't. Now, it's already been said, but I would like to talk about, do I think Matt Reeves' Batman is going to be in this universe? I would like it not to be. I don't think it will be. But let's be honest, shit changes all the time. So it could be if he thinks it's a good enough idea. I don't want them to, strictly because I would like that Batman universe to stay kind of separate. But wouldn't it would just be so cool if Matt Reeves' Batman and DCU Superman just hung out for like 10 minutes in like a teaser, like a trailer, or for something. And they got together for something. Like that's where they could do the How It Should Have Ended Coffee House for like a trailer for Comic-Con. Because like let's say 2 movies are coming out the same year. Because he said that there won't be a Matt Reeves Batman and a Brave and the Bold Batman on the same year. Because that just makes sense. I also feel like James Gunn wouldn't take this universe so seriously that he wouldn't allow, like, well, it's a commercial, so we can just have some fun with it, you know? I definitely think that would be good. For this universe's Batman, I would definitely like very dark blue costume. So pretty much Batman Hush. If we can get a Batman Hush costume, and that's like the main one, you know, you get variants on those suits. I wouldn't like it to be as wacky as Brave and the Bold. Brave and the Bold is very much its own thing. When I say that, I mean the cartoon, not the movie that's going to be coming out. I definitely want Robins, and we are already confirmed to get Robins. I've been waiting for real Robins, and we're going to get them. It's going to be Damian Wayne, so that means we're kind of skipping over, you know, Dick, Tim, and Jason, and Stephanie maybe, if they want to go that route, but I doubt they'll do that. Man, no, I'm very excited. I think having the dark Batman with the kind of, not the lighthearted Batman, but the more comic booky Batman is a good thing. It reminds me of when people say that just can't work because that's too much. It reminds me of when Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild came out, and people were like, well, we can't get to, there's no such thing as 2D Zelda anymore. We can't have 2D Zelda because now we have this. And then they came out with, it wasn't Link to the Past. It was Link's Awakening remake, and everyone's like, I guess they're just still gonna do it, and it did well, you know? And because there's a sequel to the remake, and that's even fun. So yeah, I bet they can meet up, but I would like them to meet up in like a non-canon commercial or something, just sitting drinking coffee and just being like, I'm Batman. I feel like there are fun ways to do it, and people will be like, oh, they should work together then. I got a lot of feelings on Batman, and I'm on the mindset of more Batman is good. Ooh, Lex Luthor gives me hope that they're going to do Reverse Flash justice. That's how good Lex Luthor is. He is the ultimate hater that I have seen in a movie in a long while. And I have seen a lot of movies this year. Oh, doggy. If you think that Lex is a hater of Superman, wait till you see a Reverse Flash in live action that is like not CW Flash, even though he was a pretty big hater. But I want to hear, just give me the line, it was me, Barry. That would be great. As I've talked before, he's an absolute genius. He's 10 steps ahead, but he just can't really comprehend. I think Superman won because he was just a better guy. Because I don't think he would have won without Krypto. And the only reason he had Krypto is because he turned himself in and went into that place with the weird alien baby. So because of him being a better person than Lex, he wins. I think that's a fantastic message. Lex cries because he hates Superman so much. I love that. He is so, because like even when Krypto like beats his ass and he's looking at Superman, he's just crying. It's not because he's crying because he loses. He's crying because he hates Superman that much. And he goes like, oh my God. Is it my favorite portrayal of Lex? I need to see more. I want more. It's probably going to be, but it's going to be hard to beat. I think his name's Clancy Brown in like Justice League and Superman the Animated Series. I think that's Clancy Brown. Mr. Krabs, we know. Or like Connor, fuck you doing? David Cornsweet, how do you do? Fantastic. When I see Superman, I'm going to see David Cornsweet now. That's how good he was. I believe him when he says he's a big nerd. If you've ever seen him in interviews, him and Miss Maisel, like it's hilarious because he'll just start going off on Star Wars tangents. And like they asked him, like, would you rather be Superman or in a Jedi? And he's just like, oh, I'd be a Jedi easy. Yeah, I'd want to do that. And so it's like that's so funny and really cool that like they're giving him like, are you allowed to say that? That's your like literal rival company. Oh man, I believed him when he did his really comic booky speech at the end. I believed him when he was talking to his parents. I believed that he could be seen as threatening at times when he threw the desk and Lex was just straight rage baiting him. I think that's hilarious. Henry Cavill felt like a god amongst men. Clark kind of feels like your coworker that like if you have your shift with him, you're like, oh, it's gonna be an okay day. Like, I'm happy he's working. His rapport with Lois, pitch perfect. Don't change a thing. Keep it coming. He had funny reactions to things. Super shit was really funny. I like that a lot. All in all, I believe this Superman has a lot of room to grow, and I'm excited to see how it grows. I'd like to see how this Superman reacts to... There's a certain comic that I think they should do in the future where Superman, like, either loses or gives up his powers, and he learns, like, Kung Fu, or, like, a Superman martial art. Because he doesn't seem like a good fighter. He really seems like a brawler, and he's smart, but he seems like a bad fighter. Like, you know that one part of Avengers Assemble where, like, Captain America's talking to Tony, and he goes, like, you really only fight for yourself, you don't know how to fight. I was like, oh, a couple supervillains. It's like, yeah, okay. The suit really does the heavy lifting. I would like to see this Superman kind of work through something like that. I think that would be very interesting. I'm just, and it's not, anything I'm saying right now is not a complaint, like the movie. I'm just saying where I think this character could go, and I think would be an interesting place for it to go. Corn Sweat was fantastic. I think I like him better than Reeve, just because my first Superman was Henry Cavill. Okay? Man of Steel came out when I was 12. I have not really had a hopeful Superman, and this is the guy, you know? This is what I think. Fantastic movie. Keep going. Supergirl next year. I think that's going to be really good, and a completely different tone, by the way. Supergirl and Superman are very different characters. I'd like to see Krypto in that, too. Krypto is great. The funny thing is, here's something I learned about this movie. You will like it more if you're a dog person, and if you're an active cat person, you won't like it as much. And that's strictly because of how Krypto acts and how integral Krypto is. Mr. Terrific, I forgot to write him down. Standout performance. Mr. Terrific was amazing in this movie. I'm surprised they gave so much love and support to that character, who absolutely deserves it. The actor deserves it because he played Darwin in X-Men, the X-Men who can't die, and he was the first one to die. Isn't that fucking crazy? I believe this movie is a net positive for people and humanity. I think it's very good. Oh, how about we do this? Welcome to the WTB TV shopping network. This is the Superman popcorn bucket. I love it. It was $50. I wish they had a price tag before I said I wanted it. But yeah, no, absolutely super cool. This popcorn bucket gets an 8 out of 10. The 10 out of 10 was not at my theater. I already said that, and it makes me sad. So this was my Superman review. We don't normally do like movie reviews, but this movie was important to me. Plus, I bought the popcorn bucket, so that's the kind of shit we're dealing with now. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye. Oh, up and away. Oh, not the whole thing.